First of all, I want to thank all of you for sticking around. It's been a long afternoon, good dialogue, good conversation. I appreciate the opportunity to sit down with the LHSOA, their president, Mr. LaRosa. It was good dialogue, some good air cleaning, I think you'd say, at this point. And I think at this point we're ready to move forward and try to get it resolved and do what we want to do, and that's to make a situation good for kids.
It was a lot of good conversation with a lot of things that we had to get on the table and talk about and get agreement on. And we have a tentative agreement. We're going to go back to our officials and let them know that we're very excited, promote the registration of our football officials and volleyball officials to get ready for season. And at this point, we can't give you more details about what was agreed to. We have some sort of mechanical things to take care of behind the scenes, but we're both really, our side certainly is pleased that we're able to get to this point and we can tell our officials that we can start thinking about getting ready for the season.
Are there any details that you can say
share with us
at all, or is it? I mean, is it as simple as that? Just there is some sort of agreement in place that the officials are going back.
If you don't mind, the fact that the officials are beginning to go to register and start the process, I think would be enough at this particular point. As you mentioned, there's a mechanical piece we have to deal with, including executive committee people I have to answer and talk to about the process as well. And I think that's where we're at this point. So we're just going to have the next 5 to 7 days. We'll see how that works out, and we got a lot going on. And I'm in a position with the executive committee where I have principals who are not necessarily in their buildings right now, and/or the executive committee. We try to track them down as well. And Mr. LaRosa has a meeting scheduled Wednesday to meet with the majority of his people at a meeting they're having in New Orleans. So I think I'm leaving here in a very positive attitude, and I think it'd be fair to say that there's been a lot of stuff festering for a period of time, and we got through that.
Do you think that was a key point today, that you all were able to clear a lot of the air?
Yeah, I mean, I think that all along what both sides were hoping for is that we could create a forum where we could sit down and talk about what was on each other's minds. And I think what really surfaced today from both sides early on was we've got to get something done for the kids so they can play ball. And gee, that was mentioned so many times in the discussions. Every time things got sort of tough, it was, well, okay, let's remind ourselves what we're trying to do today. And so obviously, with the center point being on both sides, we've got to get something done for the kids. I think that was sort of the catalyst for both sides to realize, hey, there's give and take and compromise, and so let's not leave until we make something happen. And to the credit of the people that came in with Mr. Bonine, the principals, Keith Alexander, and our executive committee, they hung in there, and we feel pretty good at this point where we are.
How did that had to be, I think, a good point for you guys to see those principals come in and meet with you also. It wasn't just Eddie and Keith and people on the LHSAA staff, because a lot of people wanted to know, where are the principals in that? There was a group of principals in that today.
Exactly, and I think that probably was the most important element for us, was that the people we know who are behind the scenes and in a position to have to make, in many cases, the final decisions, they were represented today, and they had the opportunity to tell us about things that were concerns of theirs and things we hadn't heard before. So it gives us the opportunity to go back and work on, well, how do we take care of some of those things going forward over the longer term? What do we do? So we're really pleased to see the people who were here involved, and we feel good at this point about going forward.
Do you guys have a time set for the next point where y'all would come together, or is it just kind of play it by ear based on what you hear from your respective invested parties?
Touch base again as the week goes on?
There's been individuals on his committee that's been assigned for some timelines to get some stuff to us in writing. And obviously my timeline to get that information to our LHSAA executive committee. So timeline, we're going to take it day at a time as we can, and Paul and I will be in continual communication with any and every development that would happen, positively or negatively, and then we'll make the determination at that point. Am I correct in that?
Yep.
Shake hands. Thank you so much.
Thank you.